Only 2 seats?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll sit behind you in front of you. Quacker for you. Welcome aboard. Here's a quacker for you. Welcome aboard. How you doing, sir?
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Here's a quacker for you. Thank you much. Yeah. That's it here?
You wanna sit with Daddy?
Oh, you guys said it's mommy's thing. I honestly didn't.
Let's find out who we have on board. Of the state of Texas. So even the capital of Texas, our entire time as a city. Guys, let's practice our... Alright, we got the thumbs up. Perfect. That works out. So guys, when we were founded called Pecan Street. However, they made so many of these east-west streets that they eventually ran out of tree names, and so nowadays they just go with the numbered names. So nowadays this is 5th Street, and right up there that's going to be 6th Street. Let's see, do we have anybody for a quacker away? That looks like it's in 2 parts. It's a skyscraper. It's called the Waterline Tower. We can just see it now. And that is a tower that was completed last year. It's 74 stories tall. On top of Bar 512, that's a werewolf. We've also got a Texas sea monster. This is the jackalope. That's a rabbit with antlers, y'all. And right past that, we've got the chupacabra. Guys, do you know what a chupacabra is? My Mexican friends, do you guys know what a chupacabra is? All right, have you ever seen? So we've got the former St. Charles house over here. Nowadays, it's a Rapolo Pizzeria. And we got Shakespeare. Back when I was in college, I used to tell my mom and dad, don't worry, mom and dad, I'm studying Shakespeare, but I was actually right. On our starboard side, we're going to have San Jack Saloon. This is a great place to go for some country western music. I always like to bring up live music here in Austin, because here in Austin, we like to call ourselves Civil War. But yeah, we have South by Southwest Fast Food Capital. Driscoll himself, you see, 2 years after he founded this hotel, he was playing poker with his buddies, and I guess he felt pretty lucky because he literally bet the house on a hand of poker. The Scarville building was built right across the street at 8 stories tall. Well, Mr. Littlefield, hey, welcome to Texas, right? She took a shot at the Rangers before Houston. I think that's when they hired Chuck Norris, right? Any Walker, Texas Ranger fans? All right. Let's give a quacker wave on the starboard side. 3, 2, 1, quacker wave. By the way, guys, if we're driving along and you see a little car, it's a white car down here in Austin. It was opened up in 1915. It's been home to several famous acts. Apparently, right now they're about to play Lucas Nelson, who's a chunk of the roof. So you can actually still go in there today. You look at the roof, and it's got this really beautiful Victorian mural on it, and there's a little white square. That's called the Houdini hole. They actually kept it blank so they could commemorate when Houdini did his set there. Right by this theater, there's also the State Theater. That's a great place for some live comedy. And then right across the street is the Chipotle Mexican Grill. Alright guys, on our port side, you might notice there are these limestone blocks on the ground. These are actually the Alright guys, let's give these folks a quacker wave on the starboard side. On 3, 2, 1, quacker wave. Alright, as we pass this Texas Oak, we're going to get a really good view of the Texas State Capitol Dome. Alright guys, if you look to the top of the dome, you can see there's a statue of Lady Liberty with a sword in her left hand and a star in her right hand. She makes this building 14 feet taller than the United States Capitol building. Folks, this is the largest Capitol building by along with this really amazing ironwork on the side. Now the reason why you'd want a wraparound patio like that back in the 1880s is because back then we didn't have air conditioning. So Django, right? Yeah, it's actually called the Indigo. Out of the building onto the sidewalk below. Fortunately, no one was hurt to put that building back together again. I think I'm going to let some other people try that out before I go and hang outside that one. Down West 6. By the way, Kung Fu Saloon, they closed last week, so RIP, one of my favorite places in West 6, but they will reopen as something else very soon. Vaughn, Janis Joplin, the Baby Back Rib song. They also came up with slogans like keep go to Maxwell Rancho, go about 2 hours early. But guys, it looks like the road is out up ahead of us. What do you guys say we get into the water? Go find those shrimp, right? All right, but guys, you can help us rev up our engines by quacking. Everybody ready? Let's go. All right, full speed ahead, yeah, because he doesn't All right, welcome to Lake Austin. You are free to get up and walk around. If you want to check out the waters, just grab the nearest child and dip him over the side. No? Okay. Guys, while we're out here, I'm going to do a couple things. First of all, if you would like a photo of yourself, your family, your crew, I do happen to be a professional iPhone photographer, so just raise your hand and I'll be right over. I'm also going to put on a little bit of music by one of my favorite Texas artists. This is somebody from Corpus Christi, Texas. One of my favorites, Selena.
No.
I want to go on a boat ride.
Navigate some interesting water vessels out here right now. Guys, I sometimes get questions about this house right over here, the one with the white columns in the front of it. You guys remember back in the 2000s when we had a vice president named Dick Cheney? You guys remember when he accidentally shot a guy in the face while hunting? Yep. The guy who got shot, that was his house. Apparently that's what you have to do to get a house out here. Next time JD Vance is in town, I think I know what I'm going to do, right? Yeah, some people say the houses on Lake Austin are so large and expensive, they are ostentatious. Yeah? Okay. There we go. 2, 1, clock wave. Now, folks, if you turn your attention to our starboard side, you can see a really good example of why most Central Texas houses do not have basements. That's because at any given point, we're sitting on top of about 40 to 50 feet of limestone bedrock. So, it's really hard to drill through, so like cactus, palmetto, trees like oak, maple, pecan, also cedar, which is unfortunate for those of us that are allergic to cedar, because Austin, along with being the live music capital of the world, we're also the allergy capital of the world. So, you know, fall and springtime are a little bit. Elijah Woods of the Lord of the Rings franchise, also Michael Dell of Dell Computers, he goes over in that direction. We also have the entire house and rebuild it from scratch. But guys, if you look over that boat dock, you see where there's kind of like a curve in the roof, and then there's a flat part with the stairway that goes up to it? That's a helicopter launching pad. Or at least it used to be when Dennis Quaid lived there, so we used to have helicopters launching off that. Although we still do have somebody over here with a seaplane, so occasionally we'll be out here on the lake and a seaplane will take off right over us. It's kind of a trip to see. Speaking of former celebrity houses, though, right over here on our starboard side, we have this house with the stone facade and arches over the top of it. That's the former house of Sandra Bullock and her then husband, Jesse James of classic car fame. Now, they moved out of there not because of a bank infestation, but rather because of a divorce of ladies' hair care fame. Although he's since gotten divorced from her as well. Some people will never learn their lesson. By the way, guys, right down that way, that's called Mount Bunnell. It's that area with a little rock outcropping on top of it. It's obviously on Mount Hollis Point in the city of Austin, where people like to go to watch the sunset and look at the city skyline of Austin. All right, guys, I got a question for y'all. Is anybody on board celebrating a birthday? Any birthdays on board? How about a wedding anniversary, divorce? You can celebrate those too. I celebrate mine every day. Incident while on set. You see, the director wanted to have a scene where the actors would jump in the water. Alligator gar, the catfish, they just had come for a little bit of nibble on the toes of the actors. So keep rolling. So they cut that scene in the film. If you go back and watch Piranhas, you can look for the real look of fear on the faces of those actors. Probably the best acting of the movie, if I'm hydrofoilers are quacking away real quick. That boat that I got pulled under the dam many years ago, that was smashed to thousands of pieces by the... It was on the live news when it happened.